So Labisha, are we ready? Sorry, I can't hear
Yeah.
you.
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. So we are done with the break part. Now you can resume the slides or wherever you want to take it. We'd be happy to help you. So we are here. You can let us know.
Sure. Okay. Thank you. Let's start. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. Now let's talk about custom AI expert. So this is actually a good feature of Gemini. So if you go to Gemini, there are like in ChatGPT, we talked about custom AI, custom chatbots, and then in the Gemini, there are custom gems. So you can create one, you can name it, you can specifically give instructions, and then it will produce an output. So how actually it is like, so I gave a prompt. You are a communication assistant supporting a school or college leader. You have to write newsletters, updates, and announcements that are aligned with institutional goals and upcoming events. So tone should be professional, it should be warm and easily understood by families and communities member. So include headings, brief summaries, and clear calls to action when appropriate. So this will generate an answer. You can ask it, like I asked it ethical AI for knowledge discovery. So it will create everything. We'll see. Sorry. It will generate a mail. What is the workshop overview? Uh, what the experts will talk, and what are some of the event details? What is the call to action? RSVP today. So this is actually very useful. Let me show you where it is in the Gemini. So if you go to Google Gemini and if you go to explore gems, so you can like create your own new gem, right? Like I gave the new name, instructions, and it is actually useful in you know like you don't have to give like prompt again and again. Like you don't have to like write long detailed prompts from scratch like every single time. So that would actually defeat the purpose of being efficient, because we want to save time. And this is where the most powerful developments in recent AI comes into play. The ability to actually create your own custom chatbot, like whatever, like if you're like teaching a class, if you're delivering a course, or you are a communication specialist, or you are a research scholar. So what you can create is create your own custom chatbot. So it will memorize, it will learn how you talk, and it will learn everything. Like this is my seminar report has to be submitted on this date, and you can ask it like when is the last date to submit the feedback form, when is the last date to or when is my comprehensive exam presentation. So you can use it in that purpose. And the concept is actually very revolutionary for educators, because it allows us to move from just a user to being the designer of your own team. You can just and look at this, like we don't have to write a single line of code to actually create this. Everything is created, we just have to use it. And think about like the detailed prompt that like in the previous slides. Like you have to design a rubric, or you have to design a meeting agenda. You can just create a custom chatbot to actually cater to your own needs, on your own priorities. So I actually there are like three examples on like for educators, because we are talking about what you can do is you can create your own rubric copilot. So what you can do is you can give right, I need a rubric for undergraduate class on English. So it will know all your preferences for what a good rubric looks like. And in order to evaluate, or in order to give feedback to the students, you can do that. Or you can also create a syllabus assistant, like this custom chatbot. You would feed like what is the universities, because universities officially follow a template. and you have your own personal, pedagogical philosophy as well in instructions and in delivering purposes. So you just have to like tell the course title, you have to write the key topics that you are teaching, and it will generate a first draft that you can rectify and evaluate. But 90% of the way, like percent of the things are done using custom chatbot. Okay, moving. Okay, so troubleshooting with AI, because now we have talked a lot about all the potentials, and since it's ethical AI for knowledge discovery, uh, this is a very, very important technology, but it's not a magical, wand. It's a powerful but actually very deeply flawed tool, because we must be very critical, we must be very strategic, and frankly, very, because as educators, we should be very skeptical users of AI. And this is why, like, I'm talking about troubleshooting with AI, because first, you see, like all the time, we must be aware of hallucinations, because this is actually a technical term with AI, but it convincingly makes things up, because whatever you give it, it will provide a result. So it can invent its own facts. It can create any fake academic citations that look actually, uh, completely real. And it can also, state very falsehood data. I mean, and that is actually, with absolute authority, which is not good. And we have to like check everything, whatever it produces. And these simple models are actually, getting better every day, and they will probably reduce the hallucinations. But right now, they are not perfect. And so the number one rule for AI is to, is very simple, and it's non-negotiable, that we do not trust it. Always verify, and if it gives you a fact or a date or a source, so you must assume it is actually, um, what do you call, guilty until proven innocent. So you have to check it yourself. Then second is, it's not magic, as I mentioned, because it's a very um, complex prediction engine. So it works by calculating the next most likely word in a sequence, like based on the patterns that it's been trained on. So it will produce the most likely word that can come after that. So if the output seems very creative, or you think that it is very insightful, so a very clever recommendation of things. So it is actually, not what do you call, it's not thinking in the human sense of the word. It is just performing a, what do you call, a pattern matching exercise. It's not that, capable of doing that. And always have a two-way conversation with AI, because if you ask it, is that date correct, is that article correct, or whatever, because it produces fake articles and fake, it was published by this on this date. So don't just accept that first response, and push back and ask follow-up questions. So it has to be a two-way conversation with AI. So you have to refine your request. You have to say things like, okay, that's a good start, but can you make it more concise? Is it correct? Are you sure? So like, can you give me three more examples, real world examples, on the fact that you have just presented? So it's have to be a very iterative dialogue, not just a, one shot command. And also, like, check for errors. So remember that AI doesn't know uh, why it gave you an answer. So it has no self-awareness. There's this um, powerful debugging prompt you can use. If you get an answer like that seems like it is not making any sense, so you can ask it, you can ask, like, show your thinking, or explain your reasoning step, like how you reached to this conclusion, and how are you producing this output. So like, if whatever output is produced, you have to see, like, you have to check, like, it is not, if it's not making any sense, just ask, like, show me your thinking, how have you reached to that output. So this actually, what, it forces AI to, lay out its thought process. And many, like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini, they are putting their thought process as well. But you explicitly also, if you ask, so the misinterpretation that led to the error will slightly reduce, because you will know this is the step that the chatbot took, so it is probably incorrect. Okay. moving on. AI negative. So think, we think that uh, we have to be realists, I think, and that means confronting the very um, real and very serious negative aspects of AI in education. So if I start with bias, discrimination, and lack of diversity. So this isn't a very theoretical problem. It has real world consequences. I'll tell you one example. So Amazon, so famously had to scrape an AI recruiting tool. So they were using an AI recruiting tool because it taught itself that male candidates were preferably and systematically down-ranked resumes. Then, if like they include the women or like club chess captain. So what now they are like better trained, all the AI models, but when it first launched, and because of the image generation, and if you ask a question like give me a software engineer picture, so that will always produce a male picture. They will not never produce a female picture, but now they have improved and they show you picture of a female software engineer, because it is, it's trained in that data. It's trained in this western philosophical concept that software engineer is always a man. So it will generate that. So it has that biases over and like not a lot of good training data to actually predict, like, yeah, it can be a woman too. And talking about academic integrity and authentic learning, so it's, of course, it's a if a student is using ChatGPT to write an essay, so they haven't, technically plagiarized, but what they have done is the hard work of learning how to think and structure an argument or synthesize the information. So that is, that is undermining their cognitive and learning process. This is such a it is one of the part of AI negatives, and we are risking the students who are excellent at prompting. So like whoever is very good at prompting will get good result, but whoever is poor at thinking and who is not able to give a good prompt, so he or she will fail. And also consider privacy, because it's a main issue. Data security risks are there because every single query you as an educator or as a researcher or as a student, type into that public AI tool, which it will be collected, it will be stored, and it will be used to train future models. And a few years ago, there's this I'm forgetting the name. There's this health tech company. So that what they did was they provided a mental health chatbot services. So they started with this mental health chatbot services, and it was found to be sharing the transcripts of all those, like, because if you are taking a therapy, so you are sharing all your personal conversation with the third party advertisers. So now, like, because it was a health tech company and it was the mental health thing, but now imagine, like, if you give your students, so like they have using a school sanction, like if the school has allowed, yes, you can use the AI tutor to talk about their learning struggles, like whatever they are facing or their anxieties, their personal lives. So where is that data going on? Who owns it and who's protecting it? And the companies are making millions and billions of dollars in just like they want the data and they will share it. And so we have to protect that because student data is very like important. And like students, like if we talk about in K2 K through 12, so they're very naive and we cannot just share it, right? And finally, let's talk about impact on educators and this deprofessionalization, because there are already, companies. I interacted on, like, somebody on LinkedIn messaged to me like, yes, I have made a very grading tool, and you can use as an educator, and can you promote it, because like this will free up a lot of time. I was like happy because, yeah, because grading takes a lot of time. But and but when I like looked at all the data and how they have trained it, so you need a qualified teacher to actually give you a feedback, because students love it. Like, how are they found, have you liked that the answer sheet that they gave you? It was faster, it was cheaper, but the narrative, it increases the complex the art of giving feedback to the student, it is like very essential. And these are like not very small problems. These are like foundational challenges, like to because we're talking about academic integrity, ethical AI, for educational mission, it is like very, very difficult. Um, so you can also like, this is actually, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention the research paper that I got it. It is from Robert Farrow's paper. He's at Open University, UK. So he presented this in a paper. I'll share the link in the LMS platform. Sorry, I missed it. But this was made by him, and like there were like three more authors on that paper. Now, talking about AI positives. So after, like dwelling on all those serious risks, it's easy to feel pessimistic, because to want to just, shut the door and on this whole experiment, what is this AI? And but we can't do it, because every one of those risks, there's an equally powerful and inspiring potential opportunity. So we must hold both the sides of the coin in our minds. So let's start with personalized learning and personal tutoring, that project that I am working on right now. So we have talked about the pitfalls, but the promises are like really immense. Because I also mentioned Sal Khan of Khan Academy. So he's spoken about using AI tutor. Just visit the website of Khan Academy. It's very good. I mean, the way he has structured it and everything. Also, there's his book, The Brave New Worlds. He has written that book, and in that also he mentions personalization. And he has developed this Khan Migo to, help a student who is actually struggling in like maths. Of course, maths is like there's this data in the United States as well. Many students are struggling in maths. And so properly, like if he's struggling in fractions. So AI can, infinitely, because AI tutor is patient. He or she is a very non-judgmental tutor. Like if there's this personal tutor who is a human, he can be judgmental. He can or he or she can be not patient. So the AI tutor, you can that can offer different explanations. They can use different analogies, or they can provide practical problems until the students, master the concept. So they know it, like, yeah, he or she is struggling. We can give more answers to it based on the data they have been trained. Or like also found out, like when I was collecting data from high school students, there was this child who was so shy to, ask a dumb question in front of teachers, because many students are introvert. So this kind of, private and personalized support can be a game changer. So this is how we can, also enhance the accessibility and inclusivity. And then there's also a potential for, enhancing creativity and innovation. A student in a, you know art class, they could use an AI image generator as a brainstorming partner. And like also, like as a researcher, we also go into that hole of not getting anything. So we can use it for brainstorming, right? Like give the paragraph, can you give us the first draft, or can you give us one paragraph and say, or you can use it as act as an editor and suggest three different ways on how I can improve this paper. So we can use it. So it is enhancing the creativity, it is enhancing the innovation, and of course accessibility. And also, like there's this autonomy, and there's this critical thinking, because I mentioned about the Jill Watson paper as well, like how if you ask more questions, the Jill will it is actually fostering critical thinking. And so we can design assignments where the task is not to answer any question, right? But what we can do is we can critique the AI's answer for sure. Like for example, we could just ask the students, like this is the summary of a historical event, and ask them to fact check, right? So if like they can identify the biases or write a revised version which is more accurate and balanced, so this teaches them to be very, critical consumers of information. So when I was at IIT Gandhinagar, the professors actually used these things. Like what they did was, because of course they were BTech students, undergrad, they were doing their undergraduation. So in every class, the teacher used to give a very like an essay format of a paper, and it was generated by AI. So every time, like 5 to 10 minutes of exercises, to you have to tell like what are like, check the facts, check the biases if it has, and like write a revised version of it and be better. And what are some of the prompts that you are giving? So the teacher collects the prompts and then evaluate the answer sheets of the students, like are they critically evaluating the research paper or not. So it teaches them to be a critical consumers of information. And like, of course, this is a skill that we absolutely need, essential in today's world. And finally, not to underestimate the power of time saving and efficiency for us as a teachers, because I also spoke to one of the university professor of English who spend 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours every like weekend grading the essays. So I talked about essays as well. So but she uses an AI to do the first pass. Like she gives it a rubric. So you have to give your own personalized rubric, or university if the university has it, and ask it to provide the initial feedback on like what is the structure, what is the clarity of each paper. So this takes about an hour. Like she's spending 10 hours, and then she can just reduce that time and just, because human in the loop is very essential. AI cannot generate a like direct feedback, right? So then the efficiency comes up. Then she can spend the next hour for her own personal and encouraging comments. She can write whatever on the essay, like, yeah, you were too good, keep it up, and something like that. So she's cutting her grading time in half, but she is able to give more better focused feedback because she's not bogged down by the basics. So this is a very good example of augmentation, which I talked about in the narratives of AI in education. You can augment or you can automate. So augmentation is very good. And our job is as educators and researchers is not to pick a side if it's because this is a very tight rope that we are walking right now. So our work is to actually think strategically and every single day about how we can mitigate the risk that AI has, and what are the incredible opportunities it has. So this requires a lot of wisdom, criticality, and everything. Um, yeah. So yeah. So this is the image of the two most powerful people in AI, which is surprisingly locked in a intense arm wrestle. So I mean, look at Sundar Pichai's smile. He looks like he's genuinely happy and he's enjoying this. And but Sam looks like a little more stressed because Sam is actually working on OpenAI and Google's. Sundar Pichai is in the Google Gemini team. So what we can do is we can play a game as well right now. So this is one odd one out Google game. So that will help us to actually kind of figure out what is the image that is generated by AI, because you can see in the picture, because this is like I just gave them like two people, Sam Altman and Sundar Pichai, and generate an image, but this is a deep fake image. Okay, so this is odd one out as a Google game, which is very good. I think okay, so I will open the chat window, and you have to tell me like which is the AI generated image. And yeah, and we have 4 chances before the game is over. Are you ready? You can just give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm going with 3 because Yogesh is saying that. Wrong. That is wrong. So we are out of the game. Let's see. Okay, let me play it again. So you have to be very fast, okay? What do you think? 2? And okay, the majority is saying 2. 2 is the generated image. But you can see like closely, like these are like, you cannot determine like which is the AI generated picture. Okay. Next. What do you think? 4, 3. Time is up. Yeah, so this is a very good game by Google, and you can like check more pictures. And it was actually very difficult. I played with my some of my team members, and they were like, "Oh my God, we cannot identify." Yeah. So you have to be like very aware of whatever the image is produced by AI. And but I produced this image because I think let me just okay. Um, this is the most accurate depiction of the tech world in 2025. And Google and OpenAI, they are like in non-stop high stakes, alarming, arm wrestling match for the future. Like every time one of them releases a new feature, like if OpenAI has released the chatbot, custom chatbot, then Google will also release it. And like the other one, just rushes out a press release here, and then we have that too, and ours is like 10% less wild and weird. So like they have this competition, and for us as an educator, I will say it again, this image is funny, yes, but it's also a deep fake. This is a harmless one, but a deep fake nonetheless. So it's a reminder that we are living in a world where reality itself is becoming a prompt, and we all need to get a lot smarter about spotting the difference. And if you see this paper, it's such a good paper. You can just screenshot it. The cybernetic teammate. Um it was like widely cited study, and on this topic so far. It's from a group of researchers at Harvard Business School, Wharton, and other Wharton as well, and other top institutions. It's called as cybernetic teammate. So what they did was a large scale field experiment. They took hundreds of highly skilled consultants from a firm. So people whose job, like only like consultant job is to, think, to analyze and write. And then they divided them into two groups. So one group had to complete a series of, very creative, complex, and analytical businesses, like on their own. Like they were given, like you have to analyze this, we have to critically evaluate this, we have to be very complex, and we have to be very creative, sorry. So, and the other group was given access to ChatGPT 4 and trained on how to use it as a collaborative partner. So they were trained on how to use ChatGPT, and they were given that. So the results were not just a minor improvement, they were like truly bombshell. Let me share you the chart. The consultants who were, using AI, of course, and and they called us because the title is cybernetic teammate. They were dramatically more productive, and they completed their task in like less than 25%, like 25% faster. And more importantly, the quality of their final work was rated 40% higher than the group without AI. So this is a very huge deal. So it's one of the uh, because it was a large scale studies, and to provide because in research we need to have that empirical evidence, like yes, this stuff actually, works. So it confirms that using AI as an augmentation tool isn't just fun. It's a significant performance enhancer for our knowledge economy. And this study had also a really interesting warning. So they found that consultants could become, because in like there's, I think they were in like PwC, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, and they could become over reliant on AI. And in some cases they were like over dependency, and in some cases it actually led to like they were not creative, or more like they were producing more generic solutions to that those all the business problems that they were given. So the message is actually, clear in this paper, that AI can be incredibly powerful teammate, but the human still needs to be very strategic. It needs to be very critical thinker and it has to be in the driver's seat. So this paper provides the data to back up the entire augmentation narrative we have been discussing. So you can see like the team with AI, individual plus AI. This is one person working with an AI parameter. And if that is just an individual, but when augmented with AI, it can outperform the entire human only team. So it is always better than I like AI plus human is greater than human, AI plus human is greater than AI. So it's like the team plus AI is the where like if every member is augmented by AI, they perform the best of all, just like AI augmented individual. Okay. So yeah, so this actually, Google just released this 2-3 days back. We can listen to this YouTube.
In our deep engagements with educators worldwide, they told us that while there's a lot of great AI literacy content out there, there was not enough emphasis on how AI can be used to address humanity's greatest challenges. We asked ourselves, how might we leverage our impact-driven AI research to address this gap in a fun and engaging way for teens? This is how AI Quest was born. AI Quests is a gamified in-class learning experience that puts students in the shoes of Google researchers using AI to solve real-world challenges in climate, health, and science. We realized we couldn't and shouldn't do this alone. We needed a partner with world-class pedagogical expertise and a deep understanding of this age group. We are so privileged to have found that pedagogical partner in the Stanford Accelerator for Learning. We bring our breakthrough real-world research and they bring their pedagogical expertise. It's a perfect match.
The gold standard in
Okay,
the design of any learning experience or learning resource is to focus on a process called backwards design. AI Quests helps develop an enduring understanding by building it into actual contexts and storylines that have real constraints, challenges, and other characters who are involved, just as we would see in everyday life. We are staying true to key principles from the learning sciences, but also really building a coherent experience and understanding for the students.
We didn't want students to just be guided through how AI works, sort of like a tutorial. And so we're not just telling them about the importance of human decisions in the process of developing and implementing AI systems, but they're actually experiencing it themselves.
The gamified learning experience in AI Quest actually transforms AI literacy into a problem-solving journey for the kids. They get to make choices regarding data, take on the role of problem solver, and actually see how all of these choices transform into real-world solutions. And in cases where some of those choices, fail, they get to go back and, make informed choices now.
One of the ways that we also develop supports in AI Quest is through the use of various pedagogical agents. And that's effectively a term for digital characters that serve an important role in the teaching and learning process.
So Professor Sky serves the role of a mentor. They help guide the student, they encourage the student to reflect, and they model expert reasoning. Another kind of character, Dr. Vissis, for example, is a subject matter expert, and they can provide expert information about the content domain. And then there's a third kind of character that's actually my favorite, which are characters who want to learn more about AI in order to keep helping their communities. And those characters, students actually help and teach.
And what we do in AI Quest is provide those spaces where students can do something that expresses their care and empathy and their decision-making on how to go about a set of decisions and activities that will have impact within the game context.
The core ideas that AI Quest, aims to promote things like ethical awareness about AI, or the fact that AI is a tool that augments human decisions. I think those are really important skills.
Teens are often consumers of AI. In AI Quests, they're put in the role of creators and decision makers around AI. And this helps them to both see themselves in that key role and also to better understand how AI systems are developed, which can make them more critical consumers of AI.
Our partnership with Google.
Okay, so I love this. I mean, Google always does this thing. They collaborate with like university or college, because like they have collaborated here with Stanford Accelerator for Learning. There's this center there, and they have designed it like they have mentioned it, learning sciences, because it is very important that how students learn. How do they learn? So that like incorporating all those principles of theory, cognitive behavior, and making this. So it is a very interactive and fun thing to do. So instead of just, dry lectures, the program is actually structured as a series of, like there are, as they mentioned, about quests and challenges that students can work on. And they get to build things, they get to experiment with real AI tools, and they also understand like how does this work, what is this AI system, and grapple with the also like the ethical dilemmas that come around that we have been discussing in this. So it's a very good initiative. So let me just
Research is a powerful example of how academia and industry can come together. Google's deep technical expertise and broad portfolio of work in AI, combined with our knowledge and design processes from the learning sciences, has been a key driver in developing this innovative approach to AI education.
We are proud to bring the spirit of innovation from Google Research directly to educators and to the next generation, and contribute to a world where that knowledge is not a privilege, but available to everyone.
The knowledge, accessibility and inclusivity, they're talking about that as well. So also like the most of the Google resources are free, like Gemini is free, the Google AI Studio is free. So I'll give you a tutorial of Notebook LM, which is also free. Like 90% of the tools that in the Notebook LM, you can use it for free. These are like two resources, like Futurepedia and Rundown. You can just subscribe to both of them. So they have this great newsletter, and they're like actually great for keeping up with the latest tools and trends in a digestible way. So you don't have to become an AI expert, but having a general awareness of the landscape is now a part of our professional responsibility. So you can just subscribe to Futurepedia and the Rundown AI. Okay, so this was this article from Chronicle of Higher Education. The future is hybrid. Colleges begin to reimagine learning in an AI world. So this represents a very fundamental shift changing in our teaching and learning and for research and everything. So we have this model of what I talk like previously it was like sage on the stage, and but with digital technology and everything we evolved to there's this guide on the stage, guide on the side, but now we are moving to the role of AI augmented expert. So like everywhere there's this, yeah, you are the architect. And our teaching is also evolving from like it was basically a teacher centered monologue where teacher used to like speak and deliver things, but it is now moving to a student centered dialogue as well, now to a like more of course it was always two ways, but it is becoming more conversational, uh, Socratic, as I mentioned, adaptive, more collaborative model of learning. So where AI actually can act as a powerful partner in that process. And that shift, this shifts, if you have ever gone through TPAC model, which actually consisted of technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge. Now it is like TPAIK, which is like AI is now there. So where we, explicitly integrating artificial intelligence knowledge as a very distinct and powerful new tool domain. So like the theory that were there, I mean, this is the education theory that I have used in my thesis, like TPAC theory, and like, yeah, you need to have technological, pedagogical, but now like AI is there. So the framework is now like redeveloping. And so this framework actually, forces us to ask three most like, critical questions that should guide our professional development and strategic planning. Like first is, as I mentioned, like how does interaction with AI, change my field of expertise? Like whatever content you are producing, so how it is changing your field of expertise. Second is how it is changing like the way you design and deliver learning. So that is a pedagogical intelligence. And then third is like what new technological knowledge is needed for my students and for myself in this new AI generated world. So which is a computational intelligence. So answering all these questions about content, about pedagogical, about computational. So this is the core work of our modern educator. So this thought comes to my mind from Andrew Ng, which is for those of you know who may not know him. He's one of the most respected and influential figures in the world of AI. He was a leading researcher at Stanford, and he also founded Google Brain, and also a name he was a chief I think principal scientist at Baidu, and he's actually like he's now a leading voice in AI education through his company. So his company name is deeplearning.ai. So if you search it, I mean his lectures and podcasts and videos on YouTube are so good. So whenever like he speaks, it's worth listening. So, and this quote, I think it cuts through all the noise, all the hype, and all the fear, and gets to the very heart of why this conversation, matters so much for us. So he said, like, society benefits if all the human race is empowered and is aspiring to do great things. So giving people the skill sets to do great things will take a lot of work, right? It is so simple, but it is so profound. So he's not just talking about technology itself, like the Silicon Valley or OpenAI, the business people, CEOs, they talk. He's not, he's also not talking about models or parameters. He's talking about people, we humans. I mean, he's talking about empowerment. And he's also talking about aspirations. So, and the last part, like giving the skill sets to do great things will take a lot of work. So that is our work. That is our work as educators. And that is our job description right now. So everything what we have talked about today is the need to teach critical thinking alongside the prompting, the need to confront all the ethical biases, the need to design assessments, and the need to foster a culture of responsible AI and ethical AI, which is a great for the workshop title ethical AI for knowledge discovery is so essential. I feel the weight of it, and I'm sure you do too, because but I honestly believe this is like, of course, it is like one of the most exciting and most important and most interesting pedagogical shifts or challenges that our generation is facing, because the era of mass intelligence is here, and everybody is counting on us to give them like students especially are counting on us to give them like set of skills that they just need to survive in it, and not just survive but to actually thrive and lead it. So yeah, so this is the form that you can take like 5 minutes. I'll just post it in the chat box, and then we can have a discussion. And also, then I'll start with a tutorial, because hands-on activity with Notebook LM, which is a very, I love that. Um, I love Notebook LM. I mean, the audio video overview is very good. So what you can do is we can just like for 5 minutes, you can fill this form. What is your take about Gen AI in education? And then we'll start in 5 minutes. Or if you have any questions, you can also ask. And then we'll begin with Notebook LM. Okay, so you have 2 minutes to submit the form, and then we'll start with the hands-on tutorial on Notebook LM. Okay, now let me start because we have like half an hour for the hands-on. Okay. And also like it's like 2:45 here in Atlanta AM, and I'm here in the Eastern time zone. So bear with me if I start to drift off. But I'm excited to walk you through the Notebook LM, that sleep isn't just ever even an option right now. So let's get started with our tutorial. Okay, so it is actually one of my favorite tools, and it's crazy how much value you can get from the free version. So in this tutorial, I'm going to show you the core features of Notebook LM, including things like organizing, summarizing information, and how to make it even more powerful in combination with other tools, like to even do things like building an AI product or automating workflows. So it is very good. So for teachers and educators, what you can use it for, you can just take your curriculum, your articles, your videos, your papers, and it can help you generate lesson plans as well, study guides, and even mind maps or quizzes in minutes. And for students, it's like a study buddy, and it can summarize textbooks, and it can summarize and explain concepts like from your lecture notes, and it can help you connect ideas also across different sources. So what we can do is I will give you a guided learning section, and you can just use it as a core feature, like whatever I'm using. So like first is like if you see on the landing page, it says in a big massive letter, it is understand anything. So the concept, like in this information age, is the problem is actually not the lack of knowledge. It's about our ability to understand it and make sense of it. And that is what Notebook LM is all about. So when you go to Notebook LM, so if you can open with me, and if you can want to work with alongside me, you can do it. So notebooklm.google is the website name. And if you go and try Notebook LM, you have to, of course, create your ID and everything. So, okay, so it is in the back end, it is showing Notebook LM is currently experiencing issues, but let's see, let's try to get our hands on. So what you can do is you have to create a notebook. So you can, here in this here on this screen, what you can see is you can drag and drop all the sources that you have. If you have a curriculum, if you have a course content, if you have a book, so different files you can drop. You can also drop, you can see like YouTube links, or you can also connect it to the Google Drive, or you can also use AI, so which is like the discover sources. You can use it like I want an economics research paper written by Keynes. So you can use it, and then all the sources that are there and that is produced by AI, you can use it and to run your Notebook LM. Now in this interface, what you can see is, and then this, what you can see is on the left is the sources. So whatever sources you have uploaded, and you can also add more and discover more. And then there's this chat interface, and then there's the studio. So studio will help you to generate audio, video, mind map, reports, flashcards, quiz, etc., etc. So also like Notebook LM, it suggests that it's a note taking, because you can see on the right hand side to the top, the on the bottom, it's a note taking application. So it allows you to add a note and include your own notes. And finally, there are also sharing features. There are analytical features you can see on top, which you can use to I think analytics feature is a pro feature. So like if you paid, you can get the analytics of it, but like 90% of the Notebook LM is free. So what I am interested in, I'll give you a demo of it. So what I am interested in is in building a AI agent app for AI driven ethical education learning space. So I want Notebook LM to actually, figure out what I should be building, including things like I want to analyze industry trend. I want to understand different pain points. I want to brainstorm. I want to validate like different ideas before, coming to a full set of features to build an MVP, which is a minimal viable product. So I have actually downloaded all the sources. I can add it directly. So what you can do is, so when you go to add, you can upload all the sources. So I have actually, downloaded all the OECD and UNESCO and these sources, what are like the foundations of ethical AI in education. So these are the sources I've uploaded. What I can also do is I can also use YouTube links, right? So I have also curated that. So this is from Y Combinator, which is a very impressive, like how to build a startup, and you can use that as well. Link, so which is a YouTube link. So what you can do is you can paste here the YouTube. You can add more. So I have like 2 YouTube links. One is also from Google, how it is building its product and what ethical principles that it is following. So you can use that as well. Then also what I can do is I can go to Discover. So Discover is like I also want to understand the like there's a lot of data on Twitter. There's a lot of data on Reddit and Quora. So what I want to do is look at a variety of user generated content sources, including I want Reddit, of course I want X, Twitter, and Quora to define, pain points, and because I want to build an ethical AI education app, ethical education space. Okay, so this will generate all the sources from web. Let's see. Meanwhile, what you can do is you can also start collecting your sources. What do you want Notebook LM to be played on? So this is from Reddit. This is from Reddit. I don't want any PDF. I just want the, Twitter and X data. So I will import this as well, right? So now what you can do is you can prompt it like, tell me the pain points of the user. Also, I forgot to mention, you can use Gemini as well, because I want a ChatGPT or a Gemini version of what is a deep research on ethical AI education space. So what you can do is go to tools and you can click on deep research and just give a prompt, give me a detailed research on ethical education learning space, like that. And then it will do the detailed deep research. So I have pasted all that it has generated already. So let me just paste this as well. So this is, this is the deep research that Gemini has produced. And then there's a lot to enter. Like what is the pain point? What are some of the industry trends? like what are like moral compasses that it is following. And what I can do is I can just go and paste in the, you can see the paste text, and I can just copy here everything, whatever the deep research from Gemini has. Okay. So now if I ask it from the tell me the pain points of the user, it will generate the answer using all those sources that we have listed. Like these are the student pain points that it is very difficult to apply theory to practice. It's an emotional and social burden of ethical dilemmas, erosion of critical thinking skills due to AI, navigating academic. So these are like some of the problems of pain points. Now, what you have to do is whatever the chat, the results that are produced here, what you can do is you can save to note, and this will be generated here. So this will be saved here because the notebook LM doesn't save whatever history you want to produce it. So what you have to do is you have to save to note. Am I going too fast? We can like take 5 minutes. What you can also do is we can work together. I think we'll be able to finish it in half hour. Collect all the sources, or you can use Gemini, use deep research, whatever topic you are interested in. Have that all the sources, collect it and just paste it, add it, so that you also learn like while I'm teaching you all this. Also like use the discover option to add the AI generated materials. I'll give you 3 minutes, and then we can resume again like what are other features that it can generate for us. Okay, let's start. You can just prompt Gemini like, hey, find me 2 articles, one YouTube video link, and a PDF report on the topic that you are interested in. And it will give you all the sources. But also please check and verify before uploading it here. Thank you, Naz. So when you go to add, there's this source limit because it's not a paid version. For paid, you can add 300 sources. For unpaid, you can just add 50 sources, but it is also like a lot. And of course, like it is very good to connect your Google Drive as well to Notebook LM. So whatever resources, like if I'm like preparing for this PPT workshop, you can just connect the Google Drive and can ask Notebook to like prepare a podcast version for me. Okay, 40 seconds, and then we'll resume. Okay. Now moving on, we can also like ask it because I just like I now know the pain points. I can now ask like summarize the industry trends because I want to know because I'm building an app, so I want to know the industry trends in for ethical education. And like I have also because I have taken the YouTube Y Combinator video, so this will like generate based on that. I also want to know like what are some of the what about like there were many applications that were introduced before. So like if you can see like industry trends, so there's the failure of the standalone approach, and this is a very early education focus. You can what the notebook LM because of all these sources, it is suggesting me to emphasize more on practical, experiential, and scenario-based planning or learning that I can make an app on. And what about like AI first mm, ethical education? Because there are many. Because there is Khanmigo uh, and there is Classroom.ai, which is, and if we compare them, like what is the result? Let's see that. I hope you have uploaded all the sources and working with me. Because I want to know like what is the difference? Like what about these apps versus the traditional SaaS app that were developed? Um, okay. So you can now understand like what is the difference in functionality and pedagogy, because what were traditional education apps were focusing on, and now like what is the difference in AI first ethical learning space. So this is a great input for me. Like, yeah, I can build this focus on personalization, focus on real-time scenario, and um, Socratic inquiry and scenario-based planning. All these things we have covered in our talk as well. And if you go to the studio, which is a very important aspect, so you can generate audio, you can generate video, you can generate mind map, reports, flashcards, and quiz. So whatever sources, so based on that, and you can uncheck as well. No, I just want to listen to this OECD report because or UNESCO report because it is very important. It is giving me the principles of AI ethical in education. So you can just generate the audio overview of this, and you can just like while you are working out or you are going for a walk or just sleeping, you can just listen to the podcast version, which is like amazing. Now let's look at the audio overview that it has created.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really unpacking two massive challenges, big interconnected challenges that sort of define this AI era we're in. On one side, you have this critical mission, right? Creating an AI literate population, teaching everyone, really, from middle school kids up to artists, how this tech works and how it affects us all.
And then the flip side, the other challenge, which is the stark reality that AI development, its deployment, even its basic structure, it's overwhelmingly controlled by just a few really powerful corporations.
Exactly. That tension,
And what you can do is, so this is a like, there are two-person talking. So what you can do is you can make it more interactive as well by like talking in between. So I'll
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Oh, wait, someone wants to join. Hey, go for it.
Hi. So actually, I want to understand a little bit more. So what exactly is the primary pain point of ethical AI education? I think it's thinking. Let me just
Welcome to
play.
the Deep Dive. Today, we're, oh, hey there, how can we help?
So I want to understand what are some of the industry trends in AI in education learning space. I think because on the top you can see it is, I want to understand the industry trends in AI education learning space. Okay, last try.
That is a fantastic. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Hi, so actually I want to understand some of the pain points in ethical AI learning space. Okay, so but this
Well,
is
that's
very
an excellent follow-up question
That focus on the pain points is incredibly important.
because the challenges are deeply interconnected.
Yeah, it affects students, educators, and institutions.
If we look at the student experience first, the primary pain point is the gap.
The gap between abstract, theoretical knowledge and applying it in a real-world setting.
Students often report difficulties in applying what they have learned in practice.
Especially when there's no clear-cut right answer.
And that struggle carries a social and emotional burden. Oh, yeah,
but like how would using something like AI be able to address these pain points?
That is the central question, isn't it? How does the thing causing the tension also become the solution?
Okay, let's unpack this. We actually see new AI tools designed specifically to address these gaps.
Instead of replacing
Yeah, so isn't this just so cool? I mean, the first time when I heard this, I was like mind blown. I mean, you can just give it a source, convert it into a podcast, and then just interact with the document, whatever you are sharing, and all the sources that you are sharing. And like this is the two host, but you can also do it. You can convert this into one host using any like platform, Google AI Studio or a Gemini, and just convert it into one way, like only one person is talking, so that you can just ask any questions, or you can just have it a one-to-one good interaction and a detailed deep research with because it also there's this one thing that it generates a very like fluff sometimes, like no, I don't want to hear it, I just want to hear the power dynamics, I just want to hear the industry trends. So it generates a lot of extraneous information, so you can just remove it using audio overview. Now back to Studio, you can also create a video overview of this. So video overview is actually generating, and this may take a while. So let's go to mind map. Mind map, I think it has generated. So this is the mind map it has generated from all the sources, which is like so cool. You can also, expand this. So what was the UNESCO recommendation on AI ethics? So this will expand this. So whenever like you are developing any conceptual framework or theoretical framework, you can use a Notebook LM to develop it. This like AI power negative impacts. And what you can do is you can download this. And what I do with this is I want to create a very dashboard. So I go to Claude and create an illustrative dashboard. And what I can do is I can just give it the mind map it has created. Because if you want to give like illustrations, you can use a Claude because it's like very good in creating illustrations. But if you use Gemini, it is not that creative. Okay, you can see the live code it is doing. So let me go back. So yeah, so this is the mind map. Of course, you can expand. I think it is completed now. Let me just start it. You can generate reports. So it has created one here, and the flashcards that I like according to UNESCO, what document was adopted in November 2021 to guide policy frameworks. So this will give you the answer. You can see the answer. Like the answer is demographic. What must AI actors always assume for decisions and action based on AI system? You can see the answer. So this is also very good. You can generate everything here. Like, yeah. So look at this. I mean, this is a very good interactive dashboard. Like what is the AI impact? You can see this. And look at the graphs. everything. What is the roadmap for action, key ethical frameworks, academic integrity. So Claude is very good in creating all these illustrations. So look, we can have the comparison as well. If I go to Gemini and if I give this of the same image, you can see compare the difference as well. Yeah. So it has produce the output, same output. So it is not very good in creating illustrations. So always go to Claude for this. And what else? You can also generate quiz and for the students, if you are building any lesson plan, so you can generate that. So maybe like I'll stop it here. And for like 5 minutes, you can explore on your own. What is the audio overview? What is the video? Video it is actually generating right now. Has it generated? Okay, so it has generated. You can see the video as well.
All right, let's jump right.
Wait a second.
All right, let's jump right in. We're going to tackle one of the biggest conversations happening right now, the absolute explosion of artificial intelligence in our schools. I mean, is this thing a game-changing tool for learning? Or are we kind of sleepwalking down a really dangerous path? Let's unpack the promise and the peril. And right off the bat, you can see the right? A way to personalize learning and finally fix these long-standing problems with equity and engagement for every.
So this is also a great tool to produce video from all the sources. And because it's a note-taking app, so what you can do is you can whatever the quiz is also produced by AI, the studio format, what you can do is you can share it in the classroom directly using Google Drive. So you can do that as well. You can add note, like whatever, like if you see this report and you want to add any notes, you can do that. So they were adopted by US, OECD member countries. And then you can just add resources, and what you can do is you can just convert to sources. And then what you can do is, so this source, whatever note you have also, because human in the loop is also very important, because AI has generated its content, but if the human is involved and it is adding its own source, so what we are adding our own source, so this can come up here, and then you can ask questions like, what are the 10 recommendations? What are the recommendations? Proportionality, safety and security, equity. So this is how it works. I mean, this is the basic layout. First, give all the sources, add all the sources, add the AI sources. You can chat with all the documents here, and then use the studio version to, prepare an audio, video, mind map, reports, and quiz. So this is like very good for education, research, and training purposes. So I will give like another like 5 minutes for you to explore, and then we can just wrap up. And if anybody wants to share their screen and present whatever they have produced, like want to share their perception about Notebook LM, or like what feature did you like the most, you can share it. Also in this share button, you can just like add any people and then just can share directly, or you can just copy link and share directly to your mail, to the mail or WhatsApp group or anything else. So we talked about flashcards, quizzes. Yeah, so it has also, it can also write a blog post for you. It can prepare a study guide. It can, brief the doc. And these are also like, these are new additions. Like 2-3 days ago, they have included this as well. If you want a concept overview, if you want to write a white paper, so, or explanatory guide, a policy proposal. So it is also very good to use that in that case. Yeah, so we have 4 minutes left now. So if you have any questions or want to share any insight on the talk, or if you have any feedback, you can please share. Yes, absolutely, Naz. I mean, when I first heard that, I was so amazed because it completely changes how we learn and turning, as you said, like turning research into something you can listen to on a walk or during your commute. So it's a like perfect example of how AI can cater to different learning styles, or especially for like, of course, for auditory learners as well, which is also a good case for this audio version. Of course, like as I'm building the app, so I want to know because I can't make on every feature, I cannot include every feature. So I just want to know like what are the 2 core features that will be most competitive and suitable for AI agent. So this is the exam, this is like the responsibility and accountability is there, and then there's transparency, I can build on that. So it's like it's a great tool to, like explore. Okay, then 15 seconds. I think we'll wrap up. What do you think, Vartika and Labisha?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Wait, I think somebody's mic is unmute. Anyway, yeah, so Vidhi, it has been a wonderful session, extremely insightful, and we are really excited to see you tomorrow as well. And it's, as you were saying, that it's already, I think, 1 a.m. or something over there.
It's
Um,
3:15 a.m. right now. So I was like,
oh
I
my God.
drifted. Yeah.
So I think you should like catch some sleep. We're really excited to see you tomorrow as well. And this has been extremely insightful. We'll be using all the prompts that you are suggesting for our research writing as well. So really glad that we could gain this knowledge in the early in the earlier phase of our research work. It will be extremely helpful. So, yeah, so is there any last message or quote or anything that you want to say, or like maybe a goodbye?
I was like, I'm so delighted to deliver this because I'm also learning. I also learned a lot of new concepts because I just have to deliver it. And I really appreciate the opportunity that Manju ma'am has given me to deliver this session. And let's see, I hope you guys use this and it actually add value to the research work or teaching, and because educators are also there. And yeah, I'm excited for tomorrow. And yeah. That's it. I appreciate your efforts in communicating everything on WhatsApp. And thank you so much to you and Labisha and Vartika.
Yes, I'm Labisha. That's Vartika.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Surbiti.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Have a good day, everyone. Thank you. Bye bye.